Hey everyone, this is David Black of Social Masters for love'emorleave'em.com advice panel, and this week's question is, what should you do if they are perfect but the sex is bad? Now this is a very interesting question, and I want to cover two things really that I think this question brings to light. First of all, the fact that we're talking about perfection in the first place, what are the downsides of seeking perfection from the get-go, and also I'm going to talk about if you are in a good relationship but the sexual side of it, the intimate side of it, isn't where you want it to be, what can you do to resolve that? Okay, so first point of all, if you're looking for a relationship to be perfect, I'll tell you from the get-go, you're setting yourself up for failure with anything in life. I mean, I used to be a really big perfectionist in everything I did in life, and I was miserable because of it. Because if you set yourself the unobtainable highest standard possible, then anything less than that, which, I mean, we're all human, that's what we're going to achieve, it's going to feel like failure. So no matter how well you do, there's always going to be some slight imperfection, and you're going to feel like it's failure compared to that lofty goal of perfection you set on the outset. The same goes for relationships. If your idea of your ideal partner is someone who is perfect in every way, I can guarantee you that that person doesn't exist out there in the real world, because we're all human and we all have our own imperfections. So that's the first thing I would say about that, is the strive for perfection is initially setting the game up so that you're going to lose before you even begin. So avoid perfection if you can. Secondly, if you are in a relationship and you really like this person, but the intimate side of things is not quite where you want it to be, or the sex is bad, as the question was phrased, the biggest thing to do is communicate about it. You're going to lose this relationship if this intimate side of things is that important to you, that it's this big a deal to you. You need to communicate about it sooner rather than later. The longer you leave it, the harder it's going to be. And just be honest, wear your heart on your sleeve. Talk about is there anything you can do to make them feel more comfortable. Perhaps you could encourage them, say, what kind of things do you like, what kind of things can we do together. Have a bit more of a playful attitude and an inquisitive attitude about it. Everyone is pleased in different ways. Every person has their own unique way of doing things in bed. Maybe he or she is just nervous around you because they want to perform so well, or maybe they've had a few people in the past they've been in relationships with where sex has been not very good at all, so they don't feel like they need to put any effort in because they've had some bad experiences in the past. The key thing is to communicate and get these things out on the table, and you want your relationship to be open. I mean, there's nothing more intimate than being physically intimate with someone, so you want to have that same level of intimacy in your actual communication as well. And if you can do that, so if you can avoid the strive for perfection, because it's just a loser's game to begin with, and focus on your communication and getting things out on the table, and talk. If you're having some issues, talk about them, talk them through, and you can work them through. And you can both agree that you want the relationship to work because you're obviously into each other. Talk about it, bring it out on the table, and that's the way to get your physical relationship back on track where you want it to be. I hope you found that of use. This is David Black of Social Masters for Love 'Em or Leave 'Em advice panel. Speak to you soon.